I'm done at 10.
Hey, 10 o'clock. I'm usually just hitting my stride. Good.
Uh,
Well, tonight I'm done when this is over. Getting at the
All right, everybody, we're going to do our Miller's Ferry pre-tournament broadcast, and just want to give a big shout out, and you know, to Big Daddy. He helped put this together. Anybody that knew Big Daddy was very good. I only got to talk to him a few times. Went on his podcast, talking about the trail back last year when it all got started, and he was probably the biggest fan right out the gate. And uh, with him as a person, even though me and my dad, we didn't really know him that long. These guys joining us, Jason and Brandon, I'm sure they knew him a lot better than we did. But just in the short time that we got to be around him, he touched a lot of people. Was a very positive influence, in the outdoor world for especially down south in South Alabama. And we were. I know a lot of people that really hated to hear that news when we lost Big Daddy. What was, I guess, 2 or 3 months back now, but he's the reason this tournament's even a thing. He put us in connection with the right people to have this Miller's Ferry tournament and to allow us to go a little farther south than we got to go last year. I know a lot of people had wished we'd fished Miller's Ferry last year, but we made it for this year and hope we get to come back in the future. Not really sure what the turnout on this one's going to be, but tickled to be down there. I won't get to be there for this one just due to influx and overtime at work and stuff. But I think these two guys will be fishing, and my dad, he'll be down there. But I'll let him take the floor for a minute and mention the sponsors and host locations for the 23-24 Alabama Crappie Trail.
Well, first, I want to say thanks to Wilcox County Chamber of Commerce. Big Daddy hooked me up with a person, not say in charge, but it had some leeway and could talk to the right people. So, Wilcox County Chamber made it possible, money wise, for us to bring the trail there. Then we want to thank our yearly sponsors, Bay Springs Marina. Want to thank ACC Crappie Sticks. HH Rod Reels is our Division II sponsor. Delta Jigs with Jason. Pops Jigs. Slider. First National Bank. Cole and Sons LLC, which is me and Wesley, with a business that we have going. We had some that was sponsored on the first part was the Parker team and Haney Equipment. They didn't do anything on after first of the year, but they did some at the beginning of the year. I think I got them all.
Well, Miller's Ferry, this Alabama River is notorious for big fish in the right conditions. Me personally, I've never been that far south on the Alabama River, but we've seen them in the tournaments we've had. I guess we'll start with you, Jason. Don't know how much you've been on the Alabama River here lately, but kind of what should everybody expect? Being out on the water as far as day fishing.
I talked to Mr. Joe Allen Dunn with Dunn Sporting Goods today, and he said, "Man, the river was looking great." So we shouldn't have to deal with any heavy current, hopefully. I know I went up 3 weeks ago, and that was probably the worst day I've had on the river. I think they had 8 gates open. It was right after one of the big rains. Couldn't fish anything main river. And, you have those spots that you go to, and you're like, I'll go catch 10, 11-inch fish and just make a day of it. Man, everything was a ghost town. I don't know if they were pulling all that water and it just made those fish go to the bottom or what. So I haven't been. I've just been getting hearsay from people that have been up there. And Brandon, you get to fish it a lot more than I do. Some people say that they've been doing good. Some people say it's been starting to come out of the funk it was in. I'm looking for it to fish good. I think you're going to be able to catch fish doing pretty much whatever you want to do, I hope.
You've been getting to fish much, Brandon, as far as any intel on how it's fishing?
Yeah, I fished a little bit down there this past weekend, and they are starting to come out of that funk. You can tell they were still in it pretty good. But yeah, you can catch them about anywhere right now. I caught some main river, some in creeks, some in brush piles. They're everywhere. There wasn't just bunches of them anywhere last weekend. I hope they come out of it by this weekend. But the water looked really good.
And that's a big plus, which, it was a lot better last year when we got on the river down there in June for the championship than it was, early in the year. Terrible. Man, that place, you got a love-hate relationship out by the river.
So for people
that's learned some things on the river.
For people that's not familiar with Miller's Ferry and that part of Alabama River, is there areas to take precaution, maybe stumps right under the water, or is it pretty good?
Anywhere in the creeks, you need to be cautious. I mean, even the channels and the backs of the creeks, but the main rivers, it's pretty cut and dry. It's fine. The lower end's got some shallow flats on the side, but they're all mapped really well. So if you get upriver a little bit, it's pretty much the whole river's fine. This is very, very little to worry about on the river.
If you have Hummingbird mapping, Navionics, if it does not show water depth on Hummingbird mapping, don't run in there. Come off of it, ease in there. I mean, there's a couple of sloughs that when I go in them, I go in on the trolling motor just because I don't want to pay for a new lower unit.
Yeah, even the Navionics, if there ain't no mapping, there's a reason there ain't any mapping.
Yeah.
It's either an inch deeper, it's full of stumps.
Yeah, one good slough that's a good inclination of what you can deal with is if you look at Pine Barren Creek, you'll see that the mapping goes about halfway. Don't run to the end of the mapping and then come off of it. Stop a good 100 feet, 200 feet before.
You don't want to do that.
Because there's one in there about 3 foot across that I got high centered on it 2 years ago, and I was like, boy, man, what am I doing?
So I guess the mapping is going to be more accurate. Like my Navionics up on the, that's when we fished the championship, out of Cooter's Pond and Swift Creek. A lot of my mapping was not accurate. I was, I don't know, maybe I didn't have updated maps at the time, whatever reason it wasn't. So the mapping, I guess, going to be more accurate, y'all think, down there than it was up?
Yeah, it's been pretty stable down our way. You get a lot of changes in the river up there. We don't get quite as much sand as they get. So, yeah, the mapping's pretty accurate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any recommendations, places to eat for the people that ain't familiar with Camden and Miller's Ferry?
I tell you what, if you like greasy cheeseburger, go to Larry's.
But I'm on the other side of the river, so I'm not in Camden very much.
There's quite a few places you can eat. I mean, if you're looking for fast food, there's not much for that. You got a Hardee's and a Subway, and that's it. You do have if somebody's wife comes with them, they want to go somewhere nicer. You do have the Pecan downtown, or you have Gaines Ridge out on Highway 21 north. I think Gaines Ridge is still reservation only, but it's good home cooked meal. Known the family my whole life. You have Hunter's Run, which is kind of like a little bar and grill. Racks and Reel. But like me, man, most of these times on the tournaments, you just want to grab a good cheeseburger or something, go back to the room and go to bed. And it's like Larry's. They do it pretty good. It's really consistent every time you go there. My wife, did y'all hear my wife?
Yeah.
So if y'all didn't hear that, my wife in the background said, "Don't forget the Pecan downtown," which I mentioned first. So she likes it.
Well, you did good then, Jason.
Yeah. So think I covered everything in there.
As far as
Little
boat ramps and stuff, what's going to be the best ramps for people, for launching and stuff.
I mean, Bridgeport's probably the best ramp on the river by a long shot, and it's about central everywhere you'd want to be. So, Bridgeport, or you can go on down to the campground close to the dam. But, I mean, there's plenty of ramps, but Bridgeport's probably the best one.
The best and the safest, I'd say.
Yeah.
Ellis is pretty safe. The court tend to keep a good presence there, but it's a long idle out of there. If you want to put in and get out in the river, it's best to launch at Bridgeport. They got bathrooms. Man, you could probably park 150 boats there.
And I guess our biggest issue for this one, depending on how many teams we got coming, is going to be lodging.
Yeah.
I guess where it's going to be maybe like overflow lodging. We know about, well, we got or you got that cabin down there at Rolling Cooper State Park.
I did. I'm hooked up.
Yeah, I know Rolling Cooper's booked up because I ran into a part where I lost my spot. I do know, I think Ryan Willis and Eddie Jones canceled. So there is an Airbnb that's $165 a night that came open over towards Ellis Island. But you have the Southern Inn Motel, the American Inn Motel, and man, everything else is booked up because there's some tiny cabins in town I tried looking at and tried to get booked, but they're booked up through the weekend. So there's that one Airbnb. I think there's a couple more for like $170, $180 a night, which I think is a little pricey for Camden. But that one for $165 a night actually looked like a really good place.
Yeah, there's always a monster bass tournament down there, and they run out of rooms pretty quick.
Yeah.
I think probably the next closest place is going to be
Thomasville.
Yeah, probably.
Keith, is there a high school bass tournament this weekend?
When I put this one on the list, it wasn't, but that don't mean that it wasn't one come in after that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much going to be a big tournament every Saturday on our end of the river for bass.
Oh, ditch picklers.
They'll be out there burning gas.
Yep.
I'm gonna go throw a Google tile on Brandon's boat.
So this time of the year, what about the wake boats?
No, well, you ain't gonna see any. I've never seen any wake boats on that end of the river. There might be one or two, but I ain't never seen one.
Now pontoon boats, that's a different story.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of pontoon boats.
Cedos?
There'll be some within a couple miles of the ramp, but they can thin out pretty quick after that.
Yeah.
So what y'all think weights, potentially be if everything stays good on river conditions and all that? You think we're gonna see them 2-pound averages or a little smaller?
Yeah, man, just looking, I think around 14 pounds what I seen last weekend. That'd be a pretty good sack. But now if these fish have come around and there's a lot more of them up, it could go higher than that.
On 5 fish?
Yes. No, I'm sorry. 10.
You had me nervous.
10 and 11 pounds in 5 fish. It'd be about a 2-pound average.
I was thinking, okay, fixing to blow a bankhead out of the water.
I was about to say, I'm staying in Mobile, Alabama, guys.
I'm still used to 7 fish. Yeah, forgive me.
He said 14, and my eyes kind of cocked over from that bug I was tying. I was like, oh.
I was about to turn in my 2-day notice for my job, just so I didn't miss this one. About a month ago, you'd probably been surprised how high it'd get. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A lot of these fish.
I've always heard a lot of good stuff about that end of the river down there. Always wanted to go. Kind of gut wrenching that we won't get to make it. For that one, I was looking forward to it. Just, I'd heard about a lot of the standing timber and stuff, and so lake we got up here by the house. That's what we fish a lot of up here. So it kind of been like home away from home, maybe. And then the big fish to go along with it. So, but our goal, we're going to try to keep it short and sweet. Anybody got anything they like to add or whatever. I think on some of these last ones, we kind of drug it out a little bit and we lost some attention there. But yeah, if anybody's got anything they want to add, for any of those topics, we're going to try to not to touch too much on any fishing information.
Yeah.
So for future reference for me planning these, how does the river down there fish in June?
Really, right now to me is the worst time to fish it.
In May?
Yeah, it'd be better by June. Really, the river fish is really good all through summer, but this time period right here close to spawn is bad. February is really good. January is really good.
Well, I'm just looking at places for the championship. Try not to have the championship.
It'd be a fun place for the championship next year.
Do what now?
It'd be a fun place for the championship next year with an early June tournament.
Yeah, in the summer in June, when everything warms up, the main river fish is really good. The backwater fish is really good. Everything fish is good on the river.
Okay. Well, pretty much I got the schedule pretty much locked in for those 5 qualifiers, but I'm still weighing options for the championship, and I'm going to probably release the 5 tournaments at least by the championship, and then for this year, and then championship for next year. We're going to put a TBA and some question marks to let me have more time to get the most suitable place for us.
Yeah, I mean, generally the upper end fish is pretty good too in the summer. I think we've hit it bad a couple times and it just don't look good. But in general, the bottom's going to fish better all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we had heard too. And with the way the schedule's kind of shaking out too, hate to not see the Alabama River, but there was seemed like a disgruntlement with the 2 lake tournaments. So if we do go back to Pickwick and the Pickwick Wilson in the future, it'll be Pickwick more than likely. And then the Elmore County preferred Jordan Lake. So that tournament will be Jordan Lake, and everybody be on Jordan.
That tournament needs to be very early.
Yeah, December.
They chose March.
Well, in March would be okay, but you get any later than that, and you'll get a lot of fish looking at your bait.
Well, last year we were there in April, and then back there, the river and Jordan for the championship in June, and they were very finicky. Run up and follow the bait and turn around and go back.
Yeah, Coosa River, you can go to Jordan in the summer and won't catch a fish. You might be looking at hundreds of them, but you won't catch one.
Oh man, I got one. That's a whole new meaning to the Coosa Curve right there.
Y'all can always come to my neck of the wood and fight for 7 1/4 pounds.
And that's on 7 fish, right?
That was on 7 fish. That was
pass
for 7 1/4. No, we do. We got the Tom Bigby side over here, man. We actually do see quite a few 2 1/4, 2.5 pound whitefish. But man, that 10 saw sides eat up the blackfish. Little ones too.
We can do Bankhead again. It won't hurt my feeling.
We're trying to go back there in February again.
That's what it was.
There's some monsters running around on that place.
I didn't even know that place existed. If it hadn't have been for Alpha Plumbing, we never would have known.
We know now.
Yes.
The cat's out of the bag.
I'm going to use vacation if I got to make sure I pre-fish for that again. We ain't come in with 5 pounds. And the bags start rolling in and you start realizing what was really there, and that's that was a very eye-opening day right there for a lot of people, I do believe.
But you can't go to
Yes.
sleep and be trolling and going around in circles, and your partner thought y'all was chasing a fish.
Bro. I don't remember if I was on nights. I don't remember what happened. And we got down there. No, I wasn't on nights.
You was on days, but y'all didn't get there to midnight.
Yeah, I did do that. Fell asleep on the trolling motor and was doing circles out there, and he thought I was chasing one, and I was. I can say that's the first time I've done that. It's just like we wasn't in it. We wasn't in it to win it that day for numerous reasons.
It made me sick coming back from Lake Hardin, struggling to upgrade hundreds of ounces all day to come back and see Brandon and all weighing in and Shiloh weighing in these fish. And I'm like, why did I go over there?
And I mean, at 13, you had 1330, did you not?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and just about anywhere we go, that's almost a winning bag.
That
Yeah.
is
7 fish.
Fish, and
that's the bag anywhere else. And then
Yeah.
I don't know what he called up some. And see, that's the thing, you know. I mean, you was seeing Grenada caliber fish, but a lot of these wasn't whitefish. You know, they was either hybrids or blackfish, and that was like,
Yeah, I caught multiple threes pre-fishing.
yeah.
That's about unheard of around here.
Yeah, I think everybody was, you know, even the ones that missed it wants to fish it. You know, the ones that was there is ready
I'm going to be there.
to go back.
and look, the people in the community that turned out for the weigh-in was astronomical for crappie. I mean, I looked out there, and at one time, like there was 75 people, counting the fishermen and the spectators.
Yeah,
It was nice to see.
But we're about to do what
I
now?
would like to touch on one thing before we get off. Being as Wesley's not going to be at this one, after we get finished with the tournament, if everybody would kind of help wrap things up and help Mr. Keith out, that way we can get him on the road, get him heading back nice and early. I know I'm going to stay. I think RD's going to stay and help. I'm going to be helping do boat checks and everything. But anyway, we can help Mr. Keith out, make it a little bit easier on him because he's going to be short-staffed this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, and that'll be another thing. Probably won't have the TV screen. I know everybody loves the TV screen, but you know, probably write it on a notebook for this weekend, and then let him. He can send a picture of that to Candace. She'll be up here and can put all that together on the spreadsheet and try to get a post out, you know, as soon as possible. That way, I know everybody likes to have the. You know, especially if you do good, if you do bad, you don't really want to see that come out. But I know how that feels.
But Mr. Keith, I did reach out to one person this afternoon, and I'm gonna go by and talk to them probably Thursday, and they're probably gonna be willing to help you with doing weigh-in too.
Okay. Well, if we just have somebody to check the 5 fish and
that's
make
what I
sure
told
they're
them,
alive.
verifying they're alive, and just make sure people were weighing in 5.
Yeah, and then maybe somebody that can help me when I weigh them in, get the numbers wrote down, because we don't want to cheat nobody, no, even a 0.01. We want to make sure they get it right. And I done got old, and I read that number off, and if they don't get it wrote down, I might have forgot what it was.
Yeah. So,
Shit, I cussed on live, but I'll forget. I get sidetracked sometimes. Like, what'd you say?
Yeah, I know. But anybody that could volunteer to help at the weigh-in would be greatly appreciated under the circumstances for this weekend.
Yeah, and as far as that goes, you know, I'd already had blocked in my off time for the championship, so we'll be back in play for the championship, and everybody should be down there and kind of back to how things go. It's just a lot of overtime right now. As far as the live feed, I don't know if we've been epic failing on that, so I don't even know if we tried to do that, if it's going to work or not. So
there'll be service down there. You actually have service down there at Bridgeport.
Or you're going to have to get this guy to download the Facebook app on his phone to run one.
I don't know how to do it.
All I need is the
Oh, my
log.
goodness.
All you need to do is add me as an admin on the page, and I can do a live feed from my phone and set it up.
We might have to do that. Just try to have one. Somebody.
Yeah, I mean that's nothing. That's just setting it up, and I mean literally joining me as an admin, and I start a live feed.
Yeah.
And we set it up and roll.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to do that because I don't know that he'd get it going. We've been doing it. Been trying to push.
Was N.O. No, he won't.
I was going to try to damn coach you through StreamYard, but I knew that was going to be worse.
Boy, when I come up, there wasn't no computers and cell phones, so I'm old school.
Yeah,
Smoke signals.
he's got some Indian in him.
That's why I said that.
Yeah, I came along before Columbus did.
So,
All righty. I want to thank Wilcox County again and thank all of our sponsors that's helped us throughout the year. If it was just door prizes, giveaways, if it was money to go into the trail, we thank each and every one of them. And I will be pulling in sometime before lunch on Thursday.
yep.
And yeah, thank y'all for joining us. Good luck to everybody fishing. Good luck to y'all. Maybe somebody be representing next week on the post tournament, and obviously we get to share a little bit more information on that one. Kind of the hows, the whys, the why nots, and all that good stuff. So thank y'all for joining us, and thank everybody that tuned in to watch it. It takes everybody. So thank
It's
y'all.
gonna be a fun weekend.
Not for me, it ain't. I'm gonna be at work.
We'll
Thank
see
y'all.
y'all Thursday.
All righty.